People, I don't know what the fuck is going on here, but, like, I'm gonna die. Like, seriously, I am gonna so fucking die here. I'm still finding more shit outside. Honest to God, I want to get in there because I have a sneaky feeling they're starting to take fucking shit out of Tisha's room. Like, seriously, man, like, what is wrong with these people? Like, seriously, who would have thought that Marcane would have been the death of me? Seriously, who would have fucking thought? Out of all my fucking kids, he has to be the one. It's enough that I put up with fucking Julian. It was enough that I put up with fucking Austin, with Sierra and Austin, Shimei and Julian, right? It was enough that I had to put up with fucking Joan when Joan moved in, right? Because Uncle John didn't want her all by herself in a fucking old folks home. And look what it got him. Medically fucking kidnapped, right? Like, seriously, man. You know what I'm saying? So that his sister could steal money that Joan fucking left John that nobody told him about for 14 fucking months until he was all drugged up, laying on a hospital bed in an emergency room in Victoria. Like, seriously, man. Like, this is fucking stupid. Okay? Like, I am organizing in here when I have a chance. Right? You can see that was all from my fabric rack, which is outside now. Like, this is so fucking stupid, man. So fucking stupid. I don't want to be down here right now. Right? My son said, oh, go off and buy more beans, more rice. You know, I went off and did that, people. And then I'm like, okay, I got it packed up, ready to go down. You can't bring nothing down. It's been sitting in my fucking kitchen for like 4 fucking months. I can't bring it down until I fucking do this shit. As they're fucking scattering more and more and more. And I'm finding fucking stupid shit outside that I want to fucking sell. Okay, I'm going to show you when I go upstairs. I'm going to show you what the fucking trigger is today. Okay? As my salmon is coming in, and I'm just trying to relax. Oh yeah, sure. I told you, I'm getting fucking paranoid here. Like, seriously, this door was fucking wide open. This was fucking moved. Like, what the hell, man? Empty fucking bin. What was in that bin? Who fucking knows? Why are you putting an empty fucking bin there? What did you throw out in the bin? Like, it's fucking stupid. My son is gonna be the death of me. Yeah, right, because he brought in a fucking Austin, Julian, and a Joan. Yeah. All combined together. Austin didn't want Sierra at home because he couldn't control her when she was at home. He didn't like her to be healthy and happy and doing well. So he went out of his way to sabotage Sierra at any fucking opportunity. Julian didn't want Shimei to be happy and healthy and go to college and work. And no, what he wanted was a fucking trap house. And he was going to put everything in Shimei's name. So he did everything in his fucking power to try and get her to fucking move out. Okay? And then what did he do in the end, people? He fucking killed her. Right? Joan couldn't fucking stand the fact that I had a fucking life, that I wasn't mentally ill, that I wasn't going in and out of fucking mental institutions, that I could hold down a fucking family, that I could run a fucking household, and that her husband was happy in the house with the kids and me. So much so that we allowed her to move into our house to look after her in her time of need. And all she did was go behind my fucking back, people, and try to sabotage me because she was jealous that John loved the kids. He loved me. And she couldn't fucking deal with it. Well, what did my son do? He turned around and he brought home the same kind of fucking individual. I never had these problems until this girl showed up. And now I'm all fucking paranoid in my own fucking house. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, it's stupid. So fucking stupid. in 5 years from now making $5,000 a fucking month, so therefore you don't need it? Fuck you! This person that you hooked up with will never be satisfied. Never! It's always going to be more, more, more. Give me more. By any means necessary, even if it means killing your fucking mom for it. There's your white fucking trash, people. Came from a middle-class home that is never fucking satisfied. Like, this is stupid! Why don't I just take that fucking salmon and go throw it in the fucking garbage can? I'm dealing with some seriously evil fucking people here that have been recruited by the fucking devil! They're Satanists! They're fucking Satanists! Only Satanists would do this stupid shit! I'm gonna fill them up! Something for Andre to try and fucking sell before I put him out on the fucking street! So that my son can what? Go on the attack with something else? Like a borderline fucking schizophrenic that's tweaking out in the middle of the fucking night? With his quote-unquote wife? Yeah, okay. That antique table is my fucking table. It's an antique table. Okay, you can see what they're doing here, taking up all this fucking space. Hey, that's not mine. Right? I don't know, they switch things around in there. I have to move that shit. I gotta move those 2 wall units yet. This is what I mean, right here. I bought a whole bunch of these back in the day when I was working with the kids. Right? They're supposed to have lids. Who knows? All I know is my shit here and there is being thrown out while other shit's just being put outside on the fucking driveway or in the garage. Or it's just completely fucking disappearing. I thought Andre and I could go through the toys and fill these up. Right? And then try and sell them. Right? You know what I'm saying? But no. Every fucking time I go downstairs, I find more shit outside. I told you, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to fucking deal with this stupid shit. Like, I'm fucking vibrating. Right? Fucking vibrating here, people. When we went in there, when I moved out something there, I don't know, when we were doing that fabric rack, he pulled out a guitar case with little guitars. I don't know where he fucking put them. I've been looking for them. I don't know if he threw them out. I don't know if he dropped them off somewhere else. I don't know if he stuck them somewhere else. All I know is when we emptied out that drying rack, they were there. And I haven't seen them since. Small little children's guitars in cases. You know? Which I could restring them if they needed strings, which they probably did, and sell them with that other crap. Being that they're not good enough for Tisha and to give them to the kids, right? To her kids, because she wouldn't want them because she doesn't have no space in her apartment. And they already have enough toys. So, it just would have been one of those things that I probably would have sold off. Or eventually given off. But as it is, I don't know where they are. And I'm trying not to get stressed out about it, right? Because who cares about children's guitars in a guitar case? Certainly not me. I shouldn't care. We just brought up another sewing machine because it was sticking out like a sore fucking thumb. Before something happens to that, who knows? Everything's locked up, lights are off. Yeah. Okay, good.
I was gonna go double check that, make sure to lock it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and as I'm clearing out my shit, their shit's like piling up more and more and more. And because she sews, she's bringing home all this stupid fucking shit around that fucking sewing crap, right? And I guess I'm supposed to accommodate her fucking hobby because she sure now ain't making a fucking money on it, that's for sure. You know, at least when I used to sew, I'd go out and sell to dancers and come home with $500 at fucking a week or whatever it was, right? You know what I'm saying? Until I moved into this house and everything just slowed down. Well, no, it slowed down. It slowed down before that. I can't blame it directly on the house, but most definitely for the last 14 years. This is where, if I was an alcoholic, I'd be going straight for the fucking bottle. Because I'm like sucking on my coffee. Just finished it and I'm like, I want another one. Give me another one. If this was fucking beer instead of coffee, I'd be like, give me a fucking another one. And I'd be like getting real fucking drunk and I'd get that wet brain because you know I'd been drinking for a few freaking years here, like maybe 20, and it's only going to take a few bottles of something or a few, right? You know, depending on what you're drinking, you know, and you get that wet brain crap, you know, where you really just lose it. You freaking lose it. I'm like so close to losing it. I got my salmon coming. I got a notice. The delivery is coming, people. Your order has been picked. You redeemed 50,000 points. Yeah. I saved myself $50 on that, people. It paid for the jars. Okay, those jars didn't cost me anything. Those salmon jars, $50. I redeemed 50 points, 50,000 points, which is $50. Okay, and I'm looking in Auntie. Oh, did you leave that door open in Auntie Shmei's room when you went down there and put the milk or whatever you did?
Maybe.
You gotta stop doing that, okay? Because Elsie goes. You make sure you close it. Well, it was wide freaking open when I went in there. It made me think, oh, are they going in there taking out the fucking food now? Are they giving it to their friends? Maybe to the sister? Marina's sister? They don't go to fucking church, that's for sure, so they're not giving it to their church. You know that. That's right, Amari. Or are they just fucking throwing it in a garbage can and burying it with their garbage on top so I don't see it? Because they want more space for their junk. Their junk, not my junk, their junk. They don't realize, people, I'm going to end it on this note. They don't freaking realize that when I am dead, because that's what it's coming down to here, they're going to lose this house. They're going to lose it. It's not what they think. Because I'll make provisions before that shit happens. This is worse than, we're going into hard labor. If you ever gave labor pains, gave birth without an epidural, and had to go through freaking labor pains for hours with those contractions coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming, you would know. If you had to deal with a Julian Johnson, an Austin Luck, a Joe fucking Duncan, you would know. I'm gonna tell my landlady. I'm gonna tell Mrs. Gill. Something fucking happens to me, you kick them fucking out. Don't let them come with their bullshit crap. Oh, poor mom, and we got the kids now, and we got all this responsibility, and we don't know what to do other than mom left us some life insurance money, so don't worry, Mrs. Gill, we'll pay the rent, and we'll figure it out. No, get the fuck out. You killed your mother. Get the fuck out. Okay, I am going to finish this video, this one, on this note. I don't know what they did here. Look at this. They gave me the big one for $25.36. And you don't even fucking feel frozen. Those aren't even frozen, man. Like, what the hell did they give me here? Oh, here's frozen. No, what have they done? Oh my God. And look at this. I tell Andre, we need to start making our own chips. Because they're getting ridiculous with this stupid shit. I thought this was a normal sized bag of chips. Obviously I'm livid, right, people? From what, because it's like, fuck, like I said, fuck. I don't know how much I paid for these chips. When I ordered them online, they were supposed to be for $2.77, but I thought they were on sale. Normal sized bag of Vicky chips. This is some dinky little bag of chips that would be like for a single freaking serving, 59 grams. If they charge me $2.77 for 59 grams of chips, I am going to be so freaking choked. I'm going to phone and I'm going to... $221. Why? Where's my... What the hell? And then they took off the 50 and it turned out to be 171. So clearly they're doing what they want here. What the hell did they charge me? Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. This is not what I asked for. I am calling and I am going to complain. And you know what? They will reimburse me something. And I want it done fucking ASAP. If I wanted to get these fish at $25, $25, $26, $30, I would have asked for that. No, I asked for the frozen ones at $18 a fucking fish. That's what I wanted. I had no substitutes in there. So I got more fish than I asked for. I'm glad I bought those jars. Okay? It's a big one. Look how big that is. But these have been previously fucking frozen. So it's not like I can freeze them. So they're going in the fridge. So we go, and then these things are nice and frozen. Those are those blue cod, which is the best when it comes to seafood with mercury in it. Okay? So no regrets there, and they're nice and frozen. Alright. So far I see two of these big ass fucking fish here, which I'm choked. That's not what I asked for. Oh my God. Where's the other ones? I don't even see them. Hold on a minute. Okay, obviously you can see better than me, right? Right by the door, so there's lots of light here. Now these ones are frozen, so this is good. But they're big, I guess. Yeah, look at that. Where am I? Where's my finger? I can't see with these glasses, man. $30.50. Okay? 1761. Frozen, sockeye, whole, headless, and gutted. It's supposed to be $7.99 a pound. Okay, so it's supposed to be $7.99 a pound. So I don't know. And then this one, so they gave me 2 frozen, $26.06. Same price. So so this is 3 pound fish, about 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds. 3.5 pounds, 3.5 pounds. And the other ones are 3.5 pounds. There's the big ass bag of, these ones are red potatoes. Imperfect, so, right? And then we've got the russet, which I'm gonna dehydrate. I mean, look at this for 20 bucks. And they're in pretty good shape, people. You can't go wrong. Or is this red? Maybe these ones are red. Right? Like, they're big. They're nice, right? I'm gonna put them outside in my, I have to go and just take out a few things and put them in there where I made a cold room outside. Long time ago. So I'm just gonna run down there between now and the next couple of days and clear out a few things in there, and I'm just gonna put them in there in a box temporarily, and just, you know, make it so the raccoons can't or whatever can't get in there. And then over the next couple of weeks, right, I will work on these because these are nice, right? Sometimes they come in even fresher than this. And I am thinking to can 7 jars as my shit's disappearing. Like, if that's not enough to make somebody fucking go crazy, I don't know what is. As you're accused of being a liar because, you know, you put that fucking Borax in that fucking drawer. Fuck you. I don't mix fucking Borax with stupid food, motherfucker. These are nice. So I'm going to make these into French fries, blanch them, and dehydrate a half to 3/4, 2/3 of the bag. And then after that, I don't need no more really dehydrated potatoes because I've got already in my bedroom. The only reason I'm doing the russet is because I don't have quote-unquote technically russet potatoes as far as I know. And I just want to see if they rehydrate differently, you know, and are the better potato to do such a thing in terms of making French fries. Okay? Or hash browns or whatever, because every potato is like red potatoes. Red potatoes are what you want to use, Lucy, for canning potatoes. Okay? And you can gather up the starch after it settles to the bottom, drain out the water. Because as you peel, you have to put them in water, cut them, put them in water, and then the starch goes out, collects on the bottom, and then when whatever you're doing, right, you know, you have to blanch them if you're going to dehydrate them. And then you just, after you've done that, whatever is starch at the bottom of your bowl, you drain off the liquid, and then you just put that starch on a plate or something, leave it to air dry, and it becomes potato starch, right? I'm just saying. Like, I want to cry, man. Like, I want to fucking cry. Like, I can't stand this shit anymore, people. I just can't fucking stand it. Right, these are nice. So, yeah, if you're going to can potatoes, Lucy, for any reason, because you want to, just for the fun of it, or whatever, you do with the red potato, because they hold their shape, right? They just hold their shape. They're not really supposed to disintegrate. Okay? So that's why red potatoes are good for canning. Because there's a certain name for it, but obviously I can't think. And this eye, where that eye doctor did that Roto-Rooter shit. You can take one of those bags. I didn't realize, honestly, Andre, I thought that those were normal size bags. Huh?
I said no.
Take it now. You can have it. Okay, I thought they were normal size. I'm just mad because of what's going on downstairs.
Hey, at least you got one normal
And
size.
they gave me like
You got one normal size.
well, yeah, but like we need to learn to make our own chips here soon. Okay, they're seriously making potato chips is not that hard.
Can I have that one, please?
No, take the small bag. Be happy with the small bag.
Small bag?
Yeah.
Where is it?
And I hope the hell I didn't pay $2.77 for that stupid thing.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Still make an egg sandwich? Pass.
Yeah, because I gotta get to the pot and get into the fridge. So hurry up, make it fast. Because I gotta get these fish in the fridge. Anyway. I guess they ran out of frozen salmon. I would have preferred it frozen, but that's okay. I'm gonna do this tomorrow anyway. Some of it. Right? I might do it in 2 batches. It's hard to say. Because I'm going to shut down, right, people? I'm going to fucking shut down here. Because I'm like... Right? Julian wanted to hurt me. Julian Johnson wanted to hurt me. Austin Luck wanted to hurt me. I never met Julian until Shimei brought him home. I never met Austin until Sierra brought him home. Joan wanted to hurt me, right? And I didn't meet Joan until she moved in because of John. And they were all jealous people. Jealous. And all 3 of them hurt my family with their sick love when it relates to jealousy. You know how people fall in love? We're a couple. We're a couple. I'm going to end it on this. We're a couple. My life is your life and your life is my life, and you don't have a life because it belongs to me now. So therefore, if you go outside of what I think you should not do, then I will either become very jealous, or which leads into being controlling, right? And, you know, people kill each other over it, obviously, because that happened to Shimei. Right? Austin used to choke Sierra, and, you know, I mean, obviously she got derailed, right? Because, you know, he never changed his ways, and in the end, it was just a big fucking joke, right? You know, he kept sabotaging, wanted her to go into a basement suite with him by himself with baby, even though he was a fucking meth head and didn't like to be responsible for nothing, but yet he you know, but it would have been a trap house. Just like Julian with the trap house. But of course Sierra stayed home, right? And did really good for 28 fucking months until the social workers threw her out in the fucking snow, people, in the middle of winter. Yeah. Because they knew she'd fall off the wagon, right? And by this time in the community, the you know, the needle was very popular among the drug addicts, so she was introduced to the needle. As they're falsifying her fucking medical records, saying that she said that she had used the needle before, which was a bunch of crock, just like what they falsified in Shimei's fucking medical records. Because what we're dealing with here, in terms of the handlers in the community, is, you know, human trafficking, right? For different reasons, right? Whether it's body parts, prostitution, drugs, whatever, right? And then Joan. She couldn't be like me. She never was like me. And it fucking ate her up inside. Even though she had a house full of people who cared about her and opened up their hearts to have her come and look after her. And even then she was jealous. And through that jealousy, she fucking... Oh, you don't even know, people. And in the end, what did it do? It got John medically kidnapped. Right? And tucked away like a dirty secret as he was crying for everybody in the house. Being in a position where he didn't want Joan to be by herself. But yet Uncle John was by himself because of fucking stupid money. Yeah. Money he didn't even want and didn't even care about. Yeah. He trusted his family that they would fucking do the right thing, and they didn't. because they were corrupt. Yeah, with their Catholic fucking religion and their dungeons of torture. Yeah, exactly. With their book, their religious book telling them that it's okay for them to fucking steal from other people. Yeah, okay, because you know it's written in within the fucking Catholic Bible somewhere. Yeah. And that's why they have no remorse as they're torturing people in their fucking dungeons. Probably still to this day, because they sure in hell fucking tortured John, that's for sure. And everybody else in my family. So this is no different. What I'm dealing with is no fucking different. Austin Luck, Julian Johnson, fucking Joan Duncan. It's just a different name. That's all it is. Because of what people conceive to be a couple in terms of healthy relationships. There's nothing healthy about it. Nope. I tried to protect Shimei from being fucking harmed. And even then I couldn't prevent that fucking asshole sneaking in at 6:30 in the morning because his mother's house got robbed. Let me in. Let me in. Scratching it. Let me in. I just want to sleep and hide out for a while. Yeah, because my mom's house got fucking robbed. But little do you know that when you were at my mom's house, your cigarettes got laced with medical fentanyl because we were planning to kill you because we were going to take Amari. Yeah, and then I'd get my trap house because then I'd be able to go on welfare with my baby and be the dad that I am. Yeah, right. Fuck you, Julian Johnson. You got exactly what you fucking deserved. As for Joan, well, she got murdered when they turned off the fucking IV on her after they sucked up her fucking pension plan for a year, paying for their locked-in quality care old folks home services. And then when they didn't want her no more, they just shut off the fucking IV. John and I, we figured it out on the day she was dying. I'm looking at this IV. I'm saying, Jesus Christ, John, I don't think this IV's been, like the water line, it hasn't moved. It hasn't moved, John, in the last 4 fucking days. Like, what the hell? But she died that night. It was too late, people. I seen it too late. I caught it too fucking late, but they killed her. They fucking killed her, okay? By shutting off the water. She was so thirsty for water, we were giving her fucking water, man. Why? Because they shut off the fucking water. But it was too late. They probably did that to John, too. Because they had him die. I don't know if it was one day after. They met, like, one day after he went into the hospital or one day before. But they had it timed for the 3-year because they're Satanists, right? So they go like they like their 3s, right? You know what I'm saying? And they had it on the 3rd year, a day or two, like one day either before he went into the hospital or it was one day after he went into the hospital. But it was exactly at the 3-year mark. That's how I know they fucking killed him, because they killed Joan. After they got everything signed, sealed, and delivered with the fucking crooked bank, and everybody got their bribes, got paid off. Yeah. Yeah. That's your government, and they're your government workers for you, as they're bringing in their fake fucking robotoid coroners. Okay? To falsify medical records and death records and all that crap with their ghost accounts. Yeah. So I don't know how far my son thinks he's going to get in life doing the things that he's doing with this perfect love that he's got, where it's completely poisoning him. Because those kind of relationships, it might take 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Usually, they deteriorate. Right? Because, you know, they're too controlling. But this is just the first stages of their abusive relationship towards each other. Unless, of course, once I'm dead and gone, they're just going to switch their tactics onto somebody else, and that will be the only thing that can hold them together, is that dysfunction by abusing somebody else after I'm dead. Because that's basically what it boils down to. Unless, of course, they're bold enough and brave enough and mature enough to move out on their fucking own and get on with their own life, which you know that's not going to happen because they know that once I'm dead, they can come up here and do whatever they fucking want. But I'm going to talk to my landlady, I swear, on my mother's life, on my grandmother's life, on Uncle John's life, on Shemai's life, on Sierra's life. I am going to talk to Mrs. Gill and I'm going to let her know what the fuck is going on downstairs. And I'm going to say, if I fucking die, I don't want you to not give them no fucking slack. Like, don't cut no fucking slack for them. You tell them you were mean to your mom and you need to go somewhere else. Oh, but we got the kids. Mom left us money to pay the rent and to hold down the fort. Yeah, well, your mom also told me that you've been abusing her for way too fucking long. And as far as she's concerned, go kick rocks. Go kick fucking rocks. What comes around fucking goes around. Okay, I had to take this out of the fridge. Do you see this? It says grape juice, October of 2020. I've had it in the fridge, right? It's got a little bit of pulp at the bottom of it, okay? Only reason it's dark is because grapes oxidize, people. So what I'm going to do, because I don't have any more room in the fridge right now, because I had to use a long, you know, when I do my meat rendering, the fat rendering, I use my long roasting rectangle. Anyway, I've got the fish all in the fridge right now, okay? And we know what we got. We got 2 unthawed full-size salmon and 2 frozen full-size salmon and the 4 blue cods that came in the price, which for the amount of money that I paid for them for the amount of fish, I'm happy with that, people. You see, that's where it really becomes economical. And then, and it's comparable to a cod, only it's better than a cod because it has more nutrients as well as less mercury. So no regrets there, right? The salmon, I don't know why they did this outside of, you know, this is where you got to be careful because, you know, when you're ordering online and you're budgeting X amount of dollars because you only have X amount of dollars in your account and they charge you twice, they charge you an extra 25% on your bill to whatever reason, to compensate, I guess, for this kind of stupid shit. And then after they run your bill through, then they adjust the dollar amount in terms of they rebill you and then take back what they initially billed you. But this was more than $130. My bill was $180, right? Minus the 50. It should have came in at $130. Instead, it came in at $171 because the bill itself was $221 in total. And then they ended up charging me $171. So that's okay. They know me, that's why. Oh, that's Judy Chunny. Oh yeah, we know what she's doing with that. We better give her what she wants. We don't have 2-pound salmons, no, frozen. Well, they gave me 2 of them. But they gave me the big ones. They gave me the big ones. So, either or. I might phone them up and discuss it with them. And they might readjust it and give me those at $17.95 or whatever it was and maybe reimburse me. Or maybe they'll give them all to me for free if I really bitched on about it. But I'm not looking for free salmon here, okay? That's not the point of the exercise. Alright, so I'm going to take this juice, I think, and I'm going to mix it with this juice, more than likely. Because I don't have to put this back in the fridge if I don't want to, because it's canned, right? I had to take it out though, because I had to put a different kind of tray in there. So It was something I was going to say. And I was going to sit down and say it. But I'm right here right now. So I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. I don't think I'm being unreasonable here. In terms of my emotions being... I am so afraid of the rain coming, people, like you don't even know. Because once the rain comes, with the way the porch leaks, the way the garage can get, and whatever, the way they're putting things outside. They didn't even put that in the garage. They just put it outside. The weather is changing. We're probably going to get a big downfall at some point in the next while because I can feel it in the air. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't rain. And it could be a torrent of rain. So whatever was in those 2 children things that they put outside, if it would have rained tonight, which it just might, especially if it's a torrent rain, it would have saturated that shit. And that just means more work for me to clean it. And that's what I know of. And that's not fair. I think those were in that food storage, 14-year-old food storage area, and I just put them off to the side, right, on top of some buckets, and that's assuming the bins, on top of some bins, after I took out that wall unit, and I just left them there until I was ready to go down and continue. But the thing is, they fucking they switch things around again, right? They're doing what they want. They're taking out what they want. They're moving what they want. And you can't tell me this karma isn't going to come back to them. Because it's wrong. My son wasn't raised to be this way, people. I've never known my son to act this way, people. Ever. This is something that fucking hoodlums would do. Or fine what is right. Christian, well, I don't even want to say Christian, Catholic, because I'm thinking of Eleanor Gilding with her Catholic fucking dungeon doing what she did to John. So that she can have the middle class lifestyle, and brag among her peers as she's plotting and scheming who she's going to rob next, just so she can sustain herself. With that institutional racism when it comes to, that kind of crap, right? Because Eleanor's white, right? But you can't blame it just on white people, because the Punjabis are just as bad, if not worse, in some instances, especially when you're getting into illegal organ harvesting and that kind of crap. Anyway, I'm going to find an escape. One way or another, I'm going to find an escape. And I'm going to go across the street at some point in the next month or 2 or 3 or whenever I got some time. And I'm going to go talk to a couple of women that maybe can start helping me just with little things around the house up here with Amari, whatever, right? In terms of whatever I need, right? And I asked my son that maybe Marina could help with that, right? And I'd pay, right? But forget it. Fucking forget it, man. I can't stand this shit. Fucking forget it. I try and think to be nice. I put out the olive branch. I fucking try to forgive. I try to understand. I try to compensate. I put my feelings aside. I try to play that motherfucking role, even though at 33 years old as a man I shouldn't have to, but it sure in hell feels like I have to, And if I don't have to, I'm obligated to do so when it's convenient and beneficial for him and her. But outside of that, people, this is fucking stupid. And when I can't see no fucking more, I'll make sure that I'll find a way to have somebody independent to come in and help me to liquidate my life in terms of my whatever. Yeah. and I'll find a way to escape. Because I can't keep living like this. I just can't. For any length of time. And expect to live. For any length of time. And that's just the reality. And if my son wants to be that fucking dumb and not fucking see what he is doing, right, then clearly he's fucking retarded. Don't ever fucking throw your stones at Amari and say that Amari's got issues when your issues are a whole lot fucking bigger than Amari, that's for sure. When it comes to retardation. Yeah. Or you're running your own fucking dungeon with your own satanic religion, basically, with your own torture chamber. And I'm getting out of it.
There.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to put this with my video that I just did, which I might, as the ending. Amari has to poo, right? Now, we haven't been in this situation, actually, for a couple of months, eh, Andre?
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, I don't know.
2 years.
Huh?
2.5 years. Basically.
No.
Well, actually a year.
No, he fusses with it, but it's been... Anyway, we're going through a rough patch here. Where, through my whatever I'm doing downstairs, I found his old,
Toilet.
trainer toilet, yeah. And he's sitting on it right now. I'm holding him. Clearly he's constipated. We gave him PEG, but doesn't seem to be working with the bulk of whatever's there. And I mean, this could be a 2-3 day affair here, people. I'm hoping that, I'll just sit here for a couple, 2, 3, maybe 4 hours. At some point. He's pushing right now. Come on. He's pushing right now. But, this is another thing, like, come on. This is another thing, like, Anyway, I just wanted you to see. I could be here for 1 hour, off and on throughout the whole day, an hour here, 2 hours there, take a half an hour break, come back. I'm putting him on the toilet just because. And, yeah. All right. You can turn it off. Okay. I just like to, when I do my videos, I watch them before I put them together and convert them over. When I was talking about Joan, in terms of, I never met Julian Johnson until Shimei brought him by. I never met Austin Luck until Sierra brought him by. I said in the video the same thing about Joan, but that's not true. I met Joan pretty much the same time when I met Uncle John. Okay? I even stayed in Joan's apartment when I came back from Alberta, when Uncle John went and got me, because I left Victoria, went to Vancouver, and then I went from Vancouver at some point to Alberta. I stayed in Alberta for about 5-6 months. Uncle John, I don't know, he got into a car accident and he got some money, and we used to talk on the phone all the time, and how you doing up in Alberta? And I'm like, well, I know, I'm sitting in 3 foot worth of snow out in the boonies, by myself with the 2 kids. I only had 2 kids at the time. It's a pretty miserable situation. And he's saying, well, come back to Victoria, come back to Victoria. I'll buy you a car and I'll come get you. And I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe we'll do that. So he did. He bought the car, old Betsy, right? I've had her in my videos, had her for 33, 34 years. And he took a bus and came all the way out to Edmonton, Alberta from Victoria, got me, we drove back, and then when we got to Victoria, I actually stayed in his and Joan's apartment with Debbie, with the 2 kids, for I think 3 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, as I was looking for a house to move into, right? To which I did find a small little teeny weeny house. Anyway, that's when I learned what Joan was really like, in terms of she never cleaned anything. She had cats that urinated everywhere in the apartment. So much so that when you put your foot down on the carpet when you were sitting at the kitchen table, your feet would stick to it because they were saturated with cat urine. And this is why John eventually a couple of years after me coming back to Victoria, right? I lived in that little house for a year. Joan actually drove me to the hospital when I was ready to give birth for Marcane. Joan also, no, Uncle, I don't know. I think what happened was after I gave birth to Marcane, I was nursing him, and I got a clogged milk duct, and I woke up in the morning, and I was so sick, because it was an infection right in the milk duct, and Joan came and got me and took me to the hospital. But when I went to give birth to Marcane, John and Joan were around watching the kids for me. But Joan was the one who took me. So I already met Joan. So this is where I'm correcting it, right? And then I moved in, after I left the little house, then I moved into this little apartment. And, you know, by this time it's like I've been back to Victoria for about a year and a half. And John's like, oh, I'm going to jump off the balcony. You know, I can't stand living with Joan because she's just getting worse. And da-da-da-da. And don't forget, she already went back into a mental institution, came back home, you know, and she's doing what she does. And he's wanting to jump off the balcony. And I'm like, well, let me help you get your own place. Maybe you'd like to, you know, if you can't do that, John, right? You know, I'll help you get an apartment, right? So, but because of his eyes, he didn't want to do that. And then he asked me, you know, if he could move in with me. And I'm like, well, you can't here, but, you know, maybe we could get a house. And, like, you know, does Joan want to come with us? And, you know, he asked Joan. She said, no, I don't want to, you know, I like where I am. And so, you know, and so we ended up getting the house. And Joan was okay with that because, you know, she was in her own world. And we moved into the house. It was a big house. It was a big house, people. It was $1,200 both floors, but I had to gut the basement because, anyway, that's a different story, right? So anyway, when we first moved in, after we moved in, I went out. And I came home with a man, and we were just sitting around talking and doing whatever, and I don't know, Uncle John got all weird, and a huge fight broke out, and he started chasing me around. I didn't know he had those tendencies, right? And he was chasing me around and pulling my hair, you know, and it was a big battle. In the end, the guy that was with me, he was a big guy, he ended up hiding out underneath fucking table or something, because John and I were just going nuts, fighting. This is when Uncle John was younger, right? A little more spry. He was, you know, and I threw all his stuff out the door. I said, that's it, get the fuck out, right? And I grabbed his shit after, you know, my hair's like all over and clothes are torn because he kept grabbing, and he'd pull me down and we'd wrestle and I'd run away and we'd be fighting. He'd grab me again and, oh yeah. So finally I said, fuck that shit. You're out of here. Get the fuck out of here, right? And I grabbed all his shit and I threw it outside. And it went all over the ground. I phoned up Joan. I said, Joan, you come pick him up because that's it. We're done. I'm not living with him. You take him back, right? Fuck that shit. And so she called him a taxi and I guess loaded him up. You know, the taxi helped him, right, and took him back to Joan. And what did that bitch do? She sent him back to me the next day, people. He showed up at the door with all his shit. And I was like, whatever. Then, you know, she was happy. Joan was happy. She had her little place. They talked on the phone all the time. Right? You know? And that was their routine, and they were really happy with each other with that. I don't know why. And I just went about my own business, being a mom, doing whatever. And then eventually, you know, we moved again to a townhouse. And, I was trying to start a company with my costumes, right? Making clothes for dancers, right? And there just wasn't a market for it in Victoria, right? And I said, John, I got to go back to Vancouver and try it again. This would be my second time. I said, I think I'm going to go back to Vancouver and try it again. I can't stay here in Victoria. There's nothing here for me. Oh no. I said, well, you have a choice. You can either go back and live with Joan, or you can come with me. And at that time, I had a woman move into my house who was stealing from me, by the way, people. It took me a while to figure it fucking out, but eventually I found out when I moved over here that she was stealing my shit. Anyway, when she moved into the townhouse because she needed a place to stay, it turned out that after she moved in, she was 7 months pregnant. I'm like, holy shit, you're 7 months pregnant? She said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. But by that time, I was already deciding to move to Vancouver. So she says, well, if you're going to Vancouver, I want to come to Vancouver. And I'm like, okay, well, fine, you can come with me to Vancouver, right? You know what I'm saying? We'll just get a house and you can rent a room like you're renting a room here. John wanted to come to Vancouver, so he came. We offered Joan to come, people. But she didn't want to because she was comfortable with the phone thing that she had going on with him, right? And so she wouldn't come. She refused to come. Right? This was before she went into independent living. She was still living in that apartment. Okay? And then so we moved to Vancouver. And the first house we got, it was a really terrible house. I only kept us there for 3 months, and that was in U.S. Minister. And then I said, John, we can't live in this place. The place is falling apart, right? And so I found my other house in Delta, and then we moved into Delta, right? And that's where I lived there for 8 years. And I moved in Delta, it was December of 1994. 95. It was either 94 or 95. Shmay was born in 95, so it would have been probably 94. Because Mark Hain was already going on age 2.5, 3 years old. Right? So we'll just say 95. So from 1995, until 2009, we lived over here with Joan living over there. Because eventually she couldn't stay in the apartment anymore, and Debbie didn't want to live with her anymore because of the the mental shit that was going on. Not that Debbie was fucking all there at the same time. Anyway, but besides that point, Joan ended up going into independent living, and she was happy with that. That's what she wanted, because John had offered to have her come here. No, I'm going to be independent, and he's okay, fine. So every now and then he'd go back and forth to visit, right? Visit his mom, especially on the mom's birthday and that kind of thing, right? And then by 2009, that was it. She was so kind of like mentally ill in combination with her anorexia and bulimia that they wouldn't allow her to live in independent living. They said no, that's it, because they'd go in and clean, and clearly there was problems, right? Because she had the problems before she even went into independent living, and that's why Uncle John wanted to bounce off the fucking balcony and take himself out just to get away from the problem, right? But either or, and then of course they're talking on the phone, right? And she crying, and he's like, that's when he comes to me and he says, gee, Judy, she's got to go into independent living. I know my family, my sisters are going to treat her like they, treated her mom, in terms of nobody will visit her. Debbie will that's the adopted daughter, right? Will very rarely visit her. She'll be there all by herself. I don't want that for her. Can she come live with us? And I'm like, well, okay, John, well, you know, if that's really what you want. I mean, we offered it to her before in the past, you see, that's the thing, but she never wanted it. So anything to keep John happy, I mean, like I said, okay, fine, you know, we got the kids. Like, I realize she's got the mental health issues, and, you know, I know she suffers from the physical aspect of being a bulimic and all that other crap. But honestly, people, I never really lived with anyone with that severe health, with those types of severe health issues in one person. You know, I mean, you're dealing with bulimia, anorexia. I mean, she was on, like, I don't know, she had something like fucking 10 different psychosis pills that she was taking. She had been in and out of mental institutions 4 or 5 times in a duration of 25 years of being married to John. Like, come on, think about it, right? You know, and just, but I didn't know. I knew on the surface, but I didn't know until she moved in. So I guess maybe what I was trying to say is I never lived with her, because I had already met her. I met her from the first time I pretty much met John. So, right? I stayed in her house. She took me to the hospital when my milk duct was clogged and I could barely walk because I was so sick. I thought I was going to die. She helped John with the kids when I went to give birth with Marcane, right? You know, so, you know, she sent him back to me after I kicked him out when he first moved in with me because of that huge fight, but she didn't want him, right? She wanted to be by herself. You see, that's the thing. She wanted it. So she sent him back. So I got stuck with him, right? And eventually she moved in with us. And, you know, Uncle John did wonder if she had left him money, because I know that she used to talk about it a lot. And one time he was sitting here at the kitchen table or in the kitchen or somewhere in the vicinity, and he said, you know, Judy, I think, what do you think? He said, what do you think, Judy? Do you think I should phone my mom and ask if Joan left, you know, an inheritance? But, you know, I don't want to ask because I don't want them to think that I just want Joan's money. And, you know, people, I was clueless. It didn't even dawn on me, right? You know what I mean? I said, John, do what you want. Like, I don't know. Like, if you don't want to call and ask, don't call, right? Because he was humble that way, people. And because he didn't ask, they didn't tell him. And they left it for 14 months until he ended up in the hospital. Seriously, they were hoping he would have died at 76 years old, and they wouldn't have said anything, and they just would have kept it for themselves. So as soon as he ended up in the hospital because of that flu infection with the lungs, right? The ammonia, right? And that was it. That was it, with Eleanor being in the position of senior management for the province of British Columbia, Canada, for their immunization program for all the healthcare workers, after working for the government for over 40 years as a fucking nurse. That's why the government protects their people, and they let her get away with it. Maybe if I would have said, gee, John, yeah, phone your mom, see if Joan left you some money. That would be great. That's what we need. Yeah, phone. I'll help you dial the number. And I didn't even do it, John. People, I didn't do it. John didn't do it. He trusted his family to tell him if Joan left him money. And they didn't tell him. And that's why he got medically kidnapped. Because Joan did leave him money. And that's why they live and frolic in a Catholic dungeon. Mm-hmm. So I felt really bad when they killed Joan by cutting off that water because, you know, she was part of my life, right? You know, it wasn't, she didn't deserve to be treated like that, people, but that's what they're doing with the elderly out here, so they can take their assets. Yeah, whether they're superannuation life insurance policies, just in your standard life insurance policy, or their houses. Their houses is a big one.